Welcome to our channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating yet often misunderstood topic: how to spot a psychopath. Now, before we get started, it's important to remember that we're not here to label or diagnose anyone. Instead, we're going to talk about some common traits and behaviors that might suggest psychopathic tendencies. So, let's jump right in. Superficial charm and glibness. First up, let's talk about superficial charm and glibness. Imagine someone who can talk their way out of almost anything. They seem so confident, so charismatic, that you can't help but be drawn to them. This charm is often used as a tool to manipulate others. It's like a mask they wear to hide their true intentions. But here's the catch: this charm is only skin deep. Psychopaths may seem to care about you or your feelings, but in reality, it's all a performance. They're often described as smooth talkers, using their charisma to get what they want without actually forming real emotional connections. So, while they might seem incredibly likable at first, over time, you may start to notice that their charm lacks genuine warmth or depth. Lack of empathy. Empathy is what allows us to connect with others on an emotional level. It's that feeling you get when you see someone else in pain and you instinctively want to help. But for a psychopath, empathy is often absent. They can watch someone else suffer and feel nothing. This lack of empathy is one of the core traits of psychopathy. It's why they can hurt others, emotionally, physically, or financially, without feeling guilty. Imagine a person who can inflict pain on others and walk away without a second thought. That's what a lack of empathy looks like. And it's not just about big, dramatic moments. In everyday life, it can show up as an inability to recognize or respond to the emotions of those around them, whether it's a friend, family member, or even a stranger. Manipulativeness. Next, let's talk about manipulativeness. Psychopaths are often master manipulators. They know exactly what to say and do to get others to do their bidding. And they're not just using this skill in obvious ways, like conning someone out of money. Manipulation can be subtle, almost invisible. They might play the victim to gain sympathy, twist facts to suit their narrative, or make others feel guilty for things that aren't their fault. What makes it tricky is that their manipulation is often wrapped in kindness or concern. They might say, "I'm only doing this because I care about you," when in reality, they're just looking out for themselves. Over time, their web of lies and deceit can become so complex that even those closest to them might not see the manipulation until it's too late. Ever met someone who seems to think they're better than everyone else? Someone who believes they're smarter, more talented, or more important than others. That's what we mean by a grandiose sense of self-worth. Psychopaths often see themselves as superior beings. They believe they're entitled to special treatment, and they might even think the rules don't apply to them. This inflated sense of self can make them appear arrogant or condescending. They might dismiss others' opinions, belittle those they see as lesser, or take credit for things they didn't actually do. It's not just confidence, it's a deep-seated belief in their own superiority, often without any real basis. This trait can make them incredibly difficult to work with or be around, as they'll often put their own needs and desires above everyone else's. Psychopaths are often impulsive and irresponsible. This means they act on a whim without thinking through the consequences. Imagine someone who regularly makes big decisions, like quitting a job, moving to a new city, or ending a relationship, without any real plan. They might do these things because they're bored or because they think they deserve something better, but they rarely think about how their actions will affect others. This impulsivity can lead to reckless behavior, like dangerous driving, substance abuse, or risky financial decisions. And when things go wrong, they rarely take responsibility. Instead, they'll blame others, make excuses, or simply move on to the next thing without a second thought. This combination of impulsivity and irresponsibility can be incredibly destructive, not just for the psychopath, but for everyone around them. Remorse and guilt are emotions that keep most of us in check. When we hurt someone, we feel bad about it. We want to make things right. But psychopaths? They don't have that same emotional response. When they hurt others, whether it's lying, cheating, or even committing more serious crimes, they often feel no remorse or guilt. They might rationalize their behavior, saying the victim deserved it, or that it was just business. Or they might completely ignore the harm they've caused, acting as if it never happened. This lack of remorse allows them to repeat harmful behaviors without any internal conflict, making them particularly dangerous in both personal and professional settings. Some psychopaths live what's known as a parasitic lifestyle. This means they rely on others to support them financially or emotionally, without giving much or anything in return. They might move from one relationship to another, draining their partners of resources and then moving on when there's nothing left to take. This isn't always obvious at first. They might present themselves as someone in need, someone who just needs a little help to get back on their feet. But over time, it becomes clear that they're not really interested in contributing or becoming independent. They're perfectly content to live off others, taking whatever they can without ever giving back. This parasitic behavior can leave a trail of broken relationships and financial ruin in its wake. While psychopaths can mimic emotions, these feelings are often shallow and short-lived. They might cry at a sad movie or express anger when they're wronged, but these emotions don't run deep. It's more like they're playing a role, showing the emotions they think are expected in a given situation. This emotional shallowness can be particularly noticeable in close relationships. You might notice that they never seem to get genuinely excited, or that their displays of affection feel a bit off, like they're going through the motions rather than really feeling it. Over time, this can create a sense of emotional distance, as their inability to experience deep emotions makes it difficult for them to form genuine, lasting connections with others. Building real, meaningful relationships requires empathy, trust, and emotional depth, qualities that psychopaths often lack. This makes it incredibly difficult for them to form genuine connections with others. Relationships with a psychopath are often shallow, short-lived, and based on what they can get out of the other person. They might seem charming and loving at first, but over time, their inability to truly connect becomes apparent. They might keep people at arm's length, avoid emotional intimacy, or treat relationships like a game. And when they're done with someone, when they've gotten what they want, they can discard them without a second thought, moving on to the next target without any lingering attachment. While not all psychopaths engage in criminal behavior, many do exhibit antisocial tendencies. This can range from minor infractions, like consistently breaking rules or lying, to more serious criminal activities. The key here is a blatant disregard for societal norms and the rights of others. Psychopaths often view rules as obstacles rather than boundaries, and they're more likely to break them if it suits their needs or desires. This can manifest in various forms, from petty theft and fraud to more violent crimes. The common thread is their complete disregard for the law and the impact of their actions on others. They're not just acting out of rebellion, they genuinely believe that the rules don't apply to them. This sense of entitlement and lack of respect for authority makes them unpredictable and dangerous. Spotting a psychopath isn't about playing detective or accusing everyone around you of being one. It's about understanding the signs and protecting yourself if you encounter someone who exhibits these traits. Remember, these behaviors exist on a spectrum, and not everyone who displays one or two of these traits is a psychopath. However, if you notice a consistent pattern of these behaviors in someone, it's important to be cautious and protect your emotional and physical well-being. Now, I hope this video has been both informative and eye-opening. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more insightful content, and share this video with your friends and family. Your support helps us continue to bring you content that matters. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.